Hey there, it's Chris Cashman. We are in Greenwood today and we gotta move fast if we want to keep up with the bartender. She just keeps winning speed competitions and now she's going for the nation. I'll wet your whistle tonight on Evening.
I'm St. Brian on some distant planet along with Screecher. And we're told if we wait just a few more minutes, we'll have interviews with the stars of Supergirl. Just a few more minutes. Dear God.
The fine art of putt-putt golf. Jose plays the newest and most creative course on the Seattle waterfront. And from releasing coyotes to putting squirrels in casts, this place puts the wild in wildlife rescue.
And welcome to Evening Magazine from the dark room in Seattle's Greenwood neighborhood, paying tribute to, well, a great darkened watering hole, but also the dark room, developing film. This is also apparently where they develop excellent bartenders. Jessie Larson behind the bar might just be the fastest bartender in the nation. She's going for that honor. So let's get to know her. Hey, Jessie.
Do I have a nickname?
Most bartenders measure success one drink at a time. Jessie Larson measures it by the second.
Speed Queen. That's what we all kind of call each other in the speed rack community.
Jessie already won the 2026 Northwest Regional Competition and is now headed for the finals for Speed Rack.
Speed Rack is this very, very cool competition that highlights specifically women bartenders and non-male bartenders to give them a spotlight and a stage to shine, essentially. Cheers!
Speed Rack is the industry's fiercest for women bartenders, and they go head-to-head in a fast-paced showdown of speed, skill, and precision.
It's a great organization. They travel around the country and host regional competitions, and all of those finalists come together to compete in the national finals at Tales of the Cocktail in New Orleans. Making it famous for you.
And perhaps the coolest part of all.
And they also have raised, I think, almost $2 million for breast cancer research and ovarian cancer research through Speed Rack, which is very, very cool. We're hosting an event here on July 13th, the Monday before the final competition. We're going to have a huge party here, buffet-style food, and it's essentially going to be me practicing as many rounds of 4 cocktails for this competition as I can.
Cheers to Jessie, the National Speed Rack Competition, July 19th in New Orleans. Swing by the dark room before then, help her train. And speaking of heroes, actors know that landing a superhero role can be a dream come true, but it can also be quite terrifying. Saint joins us from Hollywood, and he's in good company. Hey, Saint.
Hey, if you've been waiting as long as Screecher and I have for this new Supergirl movie, good news, it comes out this week, and I got a chance to speak to the stars.
The funny thing about superheroes is that we're supposed to believe they have all the answers, but the actress playing Supergirl, she's still asking some of the same questions the rest of us are.
Yeah, all of it. I've had a really interesting experience playing Kara. She just kind of mirrors me as a person, as a young person trying to find my place, trying to figure out how to be a person.
If Millie Alcock looks familiar, it's because millions first met her as young Rhaenyra Targaryen in House of the Dragon, a breakout role that turned this 26-year-old Australian actress into an international star almost overnight. Now she's trading dragons for space pirates.
Okay, this does not look like this is gonna end well for you guys.
Millie, this Supergirl is a little rough around the edges. What was fun about playing her?
All of it. I mean, it's incredibly fun to play flawed, complex, surprising characters.
And that's what's different about Anna Nogueira's version of Supergirl, based on the Tom King comics. She's a little messy.
Anna, isn't Supergirl's story in some ways a universal story about somebody that's just trying to find their place in the universe?
1,000,000%. That's really what drew me to it, is that I totally related to her and this sort of slightly delayed adulthood, feeling like she wasn't living up to her expectations, and then in this sort of roundabout way, finding herself.
Millie finds herself carrying an entire movie, something fellow DC star Jason Momoa knows isn't easy.
To be able to like lead a movie like this at that age is crazy, and she kills it. I think she's the whole spectrum.
And Millie is tackling more than stunt work here. She has to learn an entirely new language.
Millie, how big a challenge is it to learn to speak Kryptonian? What do you do in stretches of this movie?
Yeah, I do. I approached learning how to speak Kryptonian like I did in House of the Dragon when I learned how to speak High Valerian.
Because apparently one made-up language wasn't enough.
Hi there.
You just learn the scene in English front to back, and then slowly but surely you kind of learn each line, and then you put it all together, and then you learn the other actor's last syllable so you know when to speak.
Millie Alcock's got her own superpower, helping audiences see a bit of themselves in someone from another world, played by an actress still figuring things out here on Earth.
How to deal with constantly conflicting emotions and how to be in the world and be okay and in my own skin. So, all of it.
Supergirl is rated PG-13 and opens Friday, and more tomorrow night here on the show with actor Jason Momoa. There is a new nonprofit on the Olympic Peninsula that believes everybody deserves the freedom and the fun of riding a bike. Here's Saint.
These folks from an assisted living community in Squim are about to trade their walkers and canes for something far more fun.
Hello.
Because the Squim Wheelers believe anyone, no matter what their age or ability, should be able to go for a bike ride.
It looks dashing.
This nonprofit is one of only 5 in the U.S. devoted to making the simple act of riding a bike accessible to all.
That better? That's good.
Their fleet of adaptive bikes include wheelchair bikes, a side-by-side tandem bike, and a 3-wheeled bike called a trishaw that will be carrying 99-year-old Margie today.
Each bike costs over $10,000, and they're all made in the Netherlands.
Each passenger, or wheeler, is paired with 2 volunteers, a safety, who rides their own bike and keeps an eye out for hazards, and a pilot to pedal the adaptive bike. And when the Squim Wheelers hit the bike trail, they get a lot of attention.
A lot of people are amazed by it.
I've never seen it before. It's absolutely wonderful. They were all smiling and happy.
As the bikes roll along, the years seem to fall away from the happy passengers.
Beautiful. I love the fresh air. It's so nice. Thank you.
The volunteers giving these rides get something out of it too.
Yes, smiles. It's such a great satisfaction to know that that person had a great ride. I've heard them say something like, "Oh, this is the most fun I've had in so much time."
Each person that I've ridden with, they have such a rich experience of life, you know, and they mostly share it, the ones who can. It's just amazing.
At the end of her 5-mile bike ride, Margie sums up how she's feeling. Listen carefully.
I need to give you...
Proof that with a little help from some new friends, it's never too late to get on a bike and feel the wind in your hair.
Thank you, Saint. And the best part is those bike rides are free. All you have to pay is attention. The Squim Wheelers are a nonprofit and could always use some more volunteers.
Still to come on the show, Seattle's newest golf course is also a work of art. Really? And from yoga to barbecue, the Chelan Winery's offering more than tasting menus. Evening Magazine is made possible with support from Kitsap Credit Union. Since 1934, Kitsap Credit Union has believed that together it's possible. Together, we shine a light on the people and places that help our communities thrive.
And welcome back to Evening Magazine from the Greenwood neighborhood just outside of the dark room, where one of their bartenders is going for a national speed honor. Come have her pour you a drink, unless you like to slow it down. then I'd head to the city of Seattle, where the Seattle Art Museum is exploring new and even quirky ways to promote art and local artists. Jose experienced one of the latest installations and joins us from the Olympic Sculpture Park.
The Olympic Sculpture Park has many things to offer, especially in the summer. The views, the water, the art, and now something extra.
It's such a pretty day. I'm feeling like I want to play some golf. Wonder where I can find a mini golf course.
This is our artist design mini golf course here out at the Olympic Sculpture Park. So we have 9 different holes out here, all designed by local artists.
Why mini golf?
This has been something that's actually been happening around the country at various museums, having artists design these mini golf holes that are really playable sculptures. This is for everybody. We really want this to be a way that anybody can come out and play. Whether you're 5 years old or 95 years old, you can come out and have a good time.
From 1 to 10, what is your golf skills?
Mini golf skills, I'll put myself at about a 6.
So it feels like you're going to beat me today then.
We're going to find out, aren't we?
Already, game on!
Ooh. You're going to be proud of yourself because I'm horrible at this. Oh.
I see where this is going, and it's not good for me.
Oh. 1, 2, 3. Why?
Okay, moving on.
And each hole has its own theme, right?
They do, and the artists kind of designed the theme. So some of the artists, it's very reminiscent of their own artwork, and some kind of took a riff in a different direction, but we really left it up to the artists to interpret it however they like. I really love the first hole, which is actually artists on our team at the museum designed using letters that we took down from the new signage project.
So in a way, it's not just for people to have fun, but also to like learn and discover art.
So we're hoping this is an introduction, that they can come out here, have a little bit of fun, and then also learn about the art and nature around us, learn a little bit more about the new waterfront. And then we've invested a bunch of all new signage around the park. We're talking more about the sculptures here, we're talking more about the nature, and then we have amenities out here. We have a birdie bar, so you can come here and get a snack. So if you want to have a glass of wine and watch a beautiful sunset, you can do that. If you want to have a beer and play mini golf, you can do that too.
How fun. Go play around. It will be open there at the Olympic Sculpture Park through September 7th. Hey, with more than 40 wineries and tasting rooms, Chelan has become a destination for wine enthusiasts. But a lot of these wineries are realizing they can't survive by wine alone. They're offering up some compelling extras.
At Lake Chelan Winery, choosing a red or a white means deciding whether you want the ribs or the chicken. They don't just make wine here, they do barbecue.
It's a little unconventional. We've always tried to make wine approachable and casual, and so it's kind of a natural pairing with barbecue.
This was one of the first wineries in the valley. Owner Ben Williams says he put a barbecue on site for one reason.
And to be the least pretentious winery you'll come across.
Mission accomplished. They've got picnic tables, toys for the kids. Even their official rules are pretty casual. So the big question, what wine would you pair with your barbecue?
The baby back ribs, you want something that's bold, that'll stand up to some of the stronger flavors. Definitely a red, like a big bold red.
A winery where that hint of smoky flavor is thanks to a grill.
My favorite thing about running a barbecue in a winery is the way people feel when they walk out the door.
Bend your knee, open your hip.
Amy Andrews and Christina Scarsori are co-owners of Yoga Uncorked.
We believe that yoga brings people together and wine brings people together, and we thought, why not combine the two? So Yoga Uncorked's really a chance for people to get together and be in community, move their bodies, get a little more present, and then enjoy some wine together.
Best pose for a winery yoga?
And then take a sip.
Dancer. The sessions take place at different wineries around Chelan. This one is at Amos Rome Vineyards. Often they are outdoors.
Tadasana mountain pose, roll those shoulders back.
And nothing beats doing mountain pose with a mountain view.
Thank you all so much for being here and for sharing and practice with us. Together we say, namaste.
After namaste comes Chardonnay, or any other glass from the hosting winery. Everyone says after yoga, wine hits a little differently.
you're more open, you know, your heart is open, so you're open to the flavors of the wine.
But something about, you know, just like stretching and feeling the air and, you know, being present and then sipping the wine, it's like it tastes so much better after. It's almost like you earned it.
Yoga mats and wine glasses. An unlikely match. It's actually a perfect pairing.
I don't want to tell you how to fill your bucket list, but Skydive Chelan does offer a winery tandem jump. You will skydive out of a plane, you'll land at a winery, they'll rush you over a bottle of wine to decompress.
Up next, an Olympic Peninsula nonprofit that puts the wild in wildlife rescue. Now in our 40th season, Evening Magazine shares local stories that make our community shine. Evening Magazine is sponsored by PEMCO Insurance. PEMCO empowers the Northwest to prevent the preventable. Learn how at PEMCO.com.
Welcome back to Evening Magazine from Greenwood. You know, there is a place on the Olympic Peninsula that calls itself an equal opportunity rescuer, but I'd label it a modern-day Noah's Ark.
Domestic or wild, newborn or elderly, healthy or sick.
Hi, buddy. How are you? And there's Van Gogh.
At Center Valley Animal Rescue in Quilcene, every animal is important.
We do everything and everyone, and we're going to treat them all equally. They all deserve a chance at life.
Director Sarah Penhaligon founded this nonprofit in 2002 after working in veterinary medicine and seeing too many animals euthanized. Today, those animals find a new life on this rural 30-acre property. In addition to the domestic animals visitors can see and adopt on weekend tours, Center Valley also takes in wild animals. These 2 orphaned otters and a handful of baby weasels are there now. They are off limits to visitors so they can be returned to the wild without getting used to humans. Sarah lives on site with her husband Marty and her dog Ember, who was, of course, a rescue.
I'm a crazy person that works 24 hours a day.
A typical day can include anything from releasing a coyote captured inside a local hospital, to pulling a stuck buck out of a reservoir, to putting a cast on a squirrel. And there are always hungry mouths to feed.
So I'm up every 2 hours feeding these little guys around the clock.
Does a lot of good work for animals. Kind of amazing, I think.
David Amos is one of many volunteers who helps out here.
Yeah, I mostly deal with the dogs.
This Great Dane arrived nameless and emaciated. Today, Nellie is healthy, happy, and ready for adoption.
What it means to me, this is a very special place to help animals that other words would not get any help.
These animals help the volunteers as well.
It's awesome. It's a lot of fun. We're working on socialization and handling ability to make them more adoptable.
These are some of our rescue bunnies. It's like a weekly dose of serotonin. I mean, you can't feel sad when you're out here hanging around with bunnies.
Sarah's dream, though, is to work herself out of this job. But as long as any animal on the Olympic Peninsula needs help, Center Valley Animal Rescue will give it a home.
They're all beings. They're all wonderful. I just find that they're all important.
You want to get cozy with some of the critters? Of course you do. Center Valley Animal Rescue has an open house July 11th. They've got live music, food, and of course you can tour the facility. All right, now picture this. 50 corgis, racing, music, fun, a full festival atmosphere.
The Alzheimer's Association is partnering with the Taste Northwest to host Corgi Palooza, a charity event featuring a costume contest, corgi parade, and corgi races. This high-energy event is to raise money and race for the Memory Cup. June is Alzheimer's and Brain Awareness Month, and the Alzheimer's Association is urging Americans to focus on brain health. Experts say healthy habits like exercise, balanced nutrition, social and cognitive engagement, and regular checkups can help reduce the risk of cognitive decline. This year's event is at the Washington State Fair Event Center, June 28th from noon to 4. Don't miss Corgi Palooza. Evening Magazine is sponsored by Alzheimer's Association.
Welcome back to Evening Magazine from Greenwood. We're at the Dark Room. Come see bartender Jessie Larson behind the bar. Ask about her favorite summer cocktail before she heads to the Speed Rack Finals later in New Orleans.
This is my favorite drink of the summer. It is called the Mikazuki, and you can find it on the menu here at Dark Room. It is a Japanese whiskey Sazerac. We start off with a spritz of absinthe in the glass, pineapple oleo saccharum syrup, Peychaud's bitters, and Orleans bitters.
Feels like a party every day. Support Jessie. Her final day on the job here, July 13th. Come get a drink, help her prepare before she heads to the finals, July 19th in New Orleans. Good luck to Jessie. Thank you for making it the perfect evening. So long.